Alright guys, so we just got to Cocoa Village. We have the Old Normans Raw Bar and Grill or Brewery. Then we have the historic Cocoa Village welcome sign. Got Bug Nutty Brewery, Rec 225, all of the main historic area, and then it stretches around. We got Kreiderman's right there. Stretches down about a mile and a half or so, and that's all of Cocoa Village for you. So we just went by Kreiderman's. We've got a new building. They just purchased the building next door to them. They got a bunch of cool stuff planned. I'm not telling you what it is yet. Kreiderman's, they're known for their briskets, some of the best barbecue around. It used to be a service station, so the whole area, all of Cocoa Village and most of Central Florida is based upon citrus growing, cattle farming, and lots and lots and lots of luxury travel and sport fishing. So if you've ever been to St. Augustine, they have the Littner Museum. That used to actually be a hotel. So then if north of here in Titusville, the train tracks used to stop before Flagler combined his train tracks with them. It used to stop right in Titusville, and there was a train station there. From that train station, everybody would hang out, and then they'd hop on a riverboat and come down here towards Cocoa Village. Also here we have the old, I believe it is the Julia Roberts house, which is now Kimco Real Estate. Up just a little bit further, we have Time Out Sports Bar, which is probably one of the best value places you can get a meal. They do $5.99 specials Monday through Friday, so you could do like a burger, pot roast, and it's only $5.99. I don't know if they still do it, but they used to do $3 pitchers of Bud Light all day, every day. $3 pitchers of Bud Light, and that's a phenomenal deal. Walking along Florida Ave right now. Now, Florida Ave used to be, if you know of I-95, Interstate 95, this used to be like the I-95 back in the day. So everybody, as they were driving down, there was one bridge that passed over, and they used to have to wait for it was a wooden bridge with a turnstile on it. They used to have to wait for all the boats to pass through. So because they had to wait for the boats to pass through, you'd be looking at like 4, 5, 6 hours before getting to cross over. So it's either come here, enjoy this area and the beach in this area, or take a whole other day trip down south. So everybody kind of would come and just congregate here. So we walked that whole stretch down, and like I said, about a mile or so. And now we're coming to, basically this is the end of the village here. So you've got, it used to be El Charro's, then my sister-in-law, and they owned a restaurant called Tequila Cavalry Cantina, which they had to close down. We also have these new condos right behind me that are getting built, and then River Road Coffee and Popsicles. We are at the traffic circle in front of the First Baptist Church. Also Roswell Jones' celebration of her. Right, and here we are at the Darby, historic Darby Street Chapel. Dedicated on July 13th, 1924, this structure was built by the Seventh-day Adventist Church and was heralded by the Cocoa Tribune as an honor to the city. In 1955, it was served to the Church of Christ Scientist. In 1964, it was served to the First Baptist Church. The building is constructed in part of pine and stucco over wire lathering. The craftsman-style architecture and the original flooring, windows, altar rail, and the tin tile roof have been preserved. The roof withstood many years of hurricanes without leaking. In '96, the building was destined to be demolished for a parking lot, but local preservationists objected and resolved to save the historic building. In 2003, Cocoa Main Street leased the property to restore and rehabilitate it as the community use facility. Restoration was done by volunteer labor. Design and landscaping of the adjoining park was a project of the Dirt Dubers Circle of the Cocoa Rockledge Garden Club. On September 27, 2005, it was officially named the historic Darby Street Chapel. Arbor's dad was actually one of the people that volunteered to help restore this awesome building. Okay, and so here we have the Pirate Store and Museum, so it's where you get all your pirate needs and goods. Up a little bit further, we have the Magic Dove gift shop. They do magic shows there. Now, next to us, they're going to convert it. They finally approved, the city approved for a 115-room hotel that's going to have a sky bar that's going to sit right here in Cocoa Village. So you got the city hall over there, kind of where we started, loop back around, and then the hotel is going to be smack dab right here. This is Villa Palma at the Village, one of my favorite Italian restaurants in general, not just the area, but one of my favorite Italian restaurants in general. My favorite dish, everything's fresh scratch ingredients. My favorite dish is the filet mignon steak pepino, which they use like the cherry peppers. You got the hot sausage in there, as we also do a fried ravioli that's out of this world too. If you see, this is River Road. And it goes all the way down, and we're right here on the river. They just did this new walkway and dock thing here. And then, so St. Mark's Episcopal Church and Academy was the very first church in Brevard County to have a Christmas tree. Inside of it, it's absolutely beautiful. We are at Cocoa Riverfront Park. It's right on the Indian River, which is part of the Intracoastal Waterway. This whole Intracoastal Waterway, during the war, the German U-boats and stuff, they were sinking a lot of our ships. So what they did is, it was partially man-made, it was already there, but they dredged it even further. That way we had an intercoastal area that we could go along without worrying about our ships being sunk during the war. So right now there's about 30,000 boats that pass through this river a year. They just added on this nice whole riverfront area here, as well as T-docks and day slips so that boaters can come to and from. We've actually had a few tours where the couple came up here from Daytona Beach and decided to stay there. And decided to stay here, and when they stayed here, they came on a food tour. Alright guys, so I'm going to talk right here. Behind I have St. Mark's, and then that is the Porsche House. I've done a whole video on them. So the Porsche House was built by an Edward Porsche. He was a citrus grower and an inventor. So I left all the information. It's got some really cool stuff, but I'm just going to get a couple of shots of it, and it'll link to the blog post and all that, because this is one of my favorite buildings in the state of Florida. It's built out of coquina rock, which is the same stuff that they use for the Castillo de San Marcos in St. Augustine. It's a very kind of porous, brittle. It's built up of compacted shells, but it's really resilient to impact. So that's why they used it at the Castillo here. It was because it was a locally sourced product that they could use. So let's take a look at the park. I really wish I could go in the splash pad right now because I'm sweating bullets. And so right now we are at the Cocoa Village Amphitheater type deal. It's Riverfront Park. They do a bunch of concerts here. We got to see Collie Buds once, and then they do tons of other ones as well too. Great, just awesome area. Okay, so behind me we have a bunch of shops. We've got the Village Bike Shop. We've got Village Idiot Pub. Then we also have Ryan's Pizza and Pub, which is a great deal. I like taking the kids to the magic shop. You could do a magic show. It's like $2 a child. Then we go over to Ryan's. It's only like 14 bucks for a small pie, and have a good time there. Now, one of the fun stories and facts is that this road that all these places are on used to be the bridge. So that was the bridge that everybody would cross the path. They'd wait here and everything like that. So story is that during back in the day, there used to be a lot of territory wars going between cattle farmers and citrus growers. So the citrus growers were basically, you'd end up with the cows getting taken off and killed and stuff like that. So what ended up happening is that all the cattle farmers wanted to take their cattle back to the mainland as soon as that wooden bridge was built. Well, because the cows had never crossed the bridge before and it was a wooden bridge, when they went across the street and heard all the clopping of the hooves, it sent all 550 cows into a stampede through Cocoa Village. So one of the cows ended up in where Sario Bakery and Cafe is at. Another one ended up in the Tulip. Alright guys, so we are here at the kind of towards the center of Cocoa Village. Right behind me is Tai Tai, which we use on our food tours. Right over here is Pub Americana, and then down a little bit over is the Village Beer Garden. So Village Beer Garden, beer, brats, stuff like that. Pub Americana, they're known for, they do a phenomenal burger that's a blend of short rib brisket and chuck. Tai Tai, I love everything on the menu. I actually worked here for like 8 years or so. I went with the owners to Thailand. Cool story about the building Tai Tai's in is it used to be a department store, and then across the way we have SF Travis & Co. hardware store. to go in the Village General Store, but behind me is the Bel Air Courtyard. In here there is things. You have the Wine Lady right on the corner, Village General Store right behind me, Cafe Margot, which is one of my favorite fine dining establishments in Brevard County, French cuisine. They also used to be connected to Ulysses Steakhouse, same owners, but they closed down the steakhouse and now merged, so it's just Cafe Margot. So you still get that prime choice, awesome steak. Beautiful area. Each room inside of Cafe Margot is set up differently and decorated differently. So we just exited the Village General Store, which is behind me right there. Awesome place. They have some fresh meats in there from a local farmer, local produce. Nothing better than some locally organic, locally sourced stuff. It's just awesome. Now we are across the street at the Tulip. This is another great fine dining restaurant. I've done a video on this. I'll leave a link somewhere about it or down below in the comments. They do a phenomenal 3-course, $35 dinner that's out of this world. Business has been here about 50 years. It used to be Mert's Diner, so there was the gazebo, Mert Tharp Square. It was dedicated to her, and this used to be her diner. Now there's some story I don't know the details about, but she basically, some workers went on strike, I believe, for the post office, and still the workers came to visit, but then the post office kind of blacklisted the diner because she was still helping them out, even feeding them. And then right across, we have Stumpys Hatchet House. If you like your axe throwing and all that good stuff, it's fun. I just love walking out here. It's a nice, beautiful town, small village. Right here you have from olives and grapes, so you can do all your tasting samples and all that stuff. They've got all the olive oil and awesomeness there. So Stumpys was over there, and then over here you've got Bug Nutty Brewery and Rec 225. So I'm going to try to go into Rec 225 real quick. Alright, so that was Rec 225, awesome spot, games, drinks, eats. They've got air fried French fries. My favorite thing there is the roast beef. It's like a French dip with some horseradish on it. That's just out of this world. I really like it now that Bug Nutty's like really brewing. As you're in Rec 225, you can smell the beer going. So that finishes our tour of historic Cocoa Village. We hit up just about everything in the village. We did not go inside Bug Nutty. We did not hit up Dirty Ore. But I believe we got pretty much a good synopsis of it. So if you guys like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy our videos and want to watch more like this, please make sure to subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Helps keep us going, helps me keep making videos. Thanks, y'all.